Good afternoon. Let's see if we can find a setup, because there wasn't an obvious one this morning. That was a bummer. So we had the run up, and if you watched the live stream this morning, I kind of watched this entire buy program run up. Didn't take a trade. Didn't really see an entry that I was confident in. Came up, took this buy side liquidity, and now we're dropping. That buy side is also a daily candle high. So we're going to see if we want to retrace. Something I said in this morning's live stream was I think we need to take these lows. And if we don't take these lows, I think the bears should be a little nervous. Yeah. On the 1 hour chart, so that's yesterday's high. I have it outlined as buy side liquidity. The thing is, on NASDAQ, we didn't take that high. So NASDAQ's looking a lot more bearish. NASDAQ also was able to take that previous day liquidity as well on the downside. So interesting time. There was a little bit of like a decorrelation in the markets this morning, which is another reason why I didn't want to take any trades. The dollar is pushing up. You can see it as this yellow line in the background. That's the dollar. So let's see. For sell side, we got the low of this morning. We're also coming back down into the opening range. So we opened gap with a gap down, and then we delivered buy side in the morning through this gap. So in this afternoon, we're going with the narrative that it's going to deliver sell side and possibly return to this new week opening gap, this morning's low. So we will watch. It is a little tricky when you have when you have price move and there's not clear higher highs and higher lows to a specific target. It just kind of moves there. Like if you look on this 5 minute, we have swing highs, but there's no jagged structure. So it's hard to. What makes that hard is you're not going to be able to identify any kind of sweep in liquidity that clearly, because it can run up here against to get some liquidity to go down, but how far? Is it going to be this high? Is it going to be that high? Is it going to be this inefficiency? Is it going to be this inefficiency? Something that I like to do sometimes is use a fib and measure 50%, and I'll only enter 50%. If our target is the bottom of this new week opening gap, then this is the area. So above 50%, we can make valid entries. And this fair value gap right here is within 50%. So we'll watch and see. And it's hard also when price is so one-sided like this, because even on the 15-minute look, there's this morning, it was just a run up. There was no pullback to go higher. So if its intention is to go higher, this could be just a retracement to then go higher. Yeah, so that's why it's hard when you have all these, when you don't have jagged up and down higher lows and higher highs to a target. So this was an SMT divergence. I'm going to call it out. On the 15-minute, NASDAQ didn't make that higher high. Okay, I like how this is a 5-minute fair value gap right here. I like when we have, I'd sell one there. Put the stop at the top of these up close candles. It's also at the top of this 5-minute fair value gap. 5-minute fair value gap. Seems like it's also inside of a 15-minute fair value gap. So I'm going to let this order sit here because I wouldn't be surprised if it takes a few minutes to get up there. Because I've seen scenarios where, you know, when you have this scenario where it's, you got a fair value gap on the 1, 5, and 15, it wants to enter it on the 15. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to wait for this 15-minute candle to finish. And then it'll go up on the 15-minute and enter. So if we want to wait for this 15-minute candle to finish, we're going to have to wait another 10 minutes. Might do that, might not do that. I like the fact that it's fair value gap on the 5-minute too, though. The dollar is rising, so as long as the dollar keeps making higher highs, I'm comfortable with this. Check NASDAQ. It's also fair value gap on NASDAQ. I would also like it if it did not go into this. If it did not reach this area before it tapped into that. If we came down and tapped into that blue area prior to hitting this limit order, I'd cancel the limit order. It is a little, I don't think we're in the best probability situation, because you can frame a bullish scenario. So we made this higher high, coming back down on the hourly into this fair value gap. It's just, we could want to go higher. So that's something to note. This isn't a trade where I would want to risk a whole lot on. I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't say it's an A+ setup. But I think there's enough there. We have the SMT divergence on the 15-minute from NASDAQ. So we have this SMT. We took buy side, which was the previous day, yesterday's high. Broke lower. I think we delivered in the morning the buy side of this gap down. So now I'm going to see if we want to deliver the sell side. I think this fair value gap is within 50%, upper 50% between where this move originated and our target. So if the move originated up here and our target is the bottom of this new week opening gap / this morning's low, it is within the upper 50%. So those are all reasons why I'm willing to risk a little bit, take a little bit of risk. You can see we're entering now on the 5-minute fair value gap. I picked this 1 minute that's within the 5-minute just because I want a little deeper of a quote premium. I like the stop here because it's also the top candle of this 5-minute fair value gap. It's above this 1 minute, these up close candles on the 1 minute. It's not too deep. It's not a huge fair value gap. You can see this candle, we came right up to the wick, consequent encroachment of this wick. So that's another thing too, is, this wicks are PD arrays. So this wick on the 1 minute is a PD array inside this 5-minute fair value gap. So if it stopped here and then ran to our target, I wouldn't be surprised. But again, like I said, I don't think today, since you can kind of outline this bullish narrative, I don't think this is an A+ setup. So that's why I wanted to demand a little more of a premium by putting it up here. I'm interested. So we have a minute left before the next 15-minute candle prints, and it looks like this fair value gap will be sitting within a 15-minute fair value gap. So I want to see if when that new 15-minute candle starts, if we'll get a tap into it. And okay, here's the new 15-minute candle. Also, if we were to get above this high right here, I would be that'd be enough for me to try and go long. Confident in going long, possibly. And if we were to get above that high, go long, and then just come right back down, I'd think that'd be some seek and destroy, sloppy price action that I'd be fine just walking away from. Okay, so it's kind of what I was expecting. What I'm hoping for. I want to see it kind of come tap into that and then reject it. I don't want to see if we close above it. Let's see how it treats this fair value gap. Okay. I don't want to see it close above this. If we close a candle above this, I'll probably manually exit the trade. Interesting. The body closed below the fair value gap, but then it opened with a gap up. Okay, I like how it's behaving. I like how it's behaving on the 5-minute. Gonna move my stop to right there. Now what I'll do is I'll move it right above that 1 minute. I want to see us treat this as an inversion to go lower. I'll wait. Dollar's rising. Okay. This is looking good. Part of me wants to, I'll just wait. Just wait, be patient. I was going to say part of me wishes I had 2 contracts on because we'll take our first 5 handles, but I do think this has a lot of room to go. Oh, touched it. Come on, give it to us. Give it to us. That's why if you have a take profit level and you really want to get stopped out there. Hold on, I'm going to move this to break even. You have to include spread. So if this was 19 ticks and 1 tick over would have allowed for the spread, I'm going to just leave it at 20 because I do think we should see these. Interesting. Well, let's see if this consequent encroachment sends it lower. I moved that stop to break even just because I didn't if we got above, we formed this. We had this inversion fair value gap. We formed another fair value gap right here on the downside. So I didn't want price. If price came up and closed above this, that wouldn't, I thought that would have been a bad sign. So that's why I moved it to break even. I think, it can still come up. It can tap into this, what we're looking at one more time, and then still go lower. But I think that's not super algorithmic. And it could just be a product of luck. And I don't want to be in things that are products of luck. Downside, I think, is still in play. Downside's still in play. Unless we take out this high, downside's still in play. That was a little frustrating. It's like not a win, but in terms of the YouTube channel, I'm going to count that as a win because we found it. We entered on a fair value gap that delivered 5 handles. So mentally, chalk that up as a little half win. I want to see how it, after closing above this, how does it treat it? Something I've also learned too is in this scenario, it's better to sit on your hands. So what happened was we entered a trade. It came down perfectly to the line, but didn't go a tick over, so we didn't get the profit. Came back up, and then now you have the dialogue in your head where it's, okay, well, if I didn't move my stop to break even, I'd still be in this trade. And it's not looking bad now, but you might want to like find another reason to re-enter. So like, okay, well, if it comes up and taps this zone one more time, I'll enter short again. And it's just like, this is like one of those moments where you really have to reflect back on yourself and be like, am I getting emotional? Am I chasing price? Like, it's technically not chasing if you just re-enter in the same area, but like you have to kind of look back and think about the emotions you're feeling because you didn't get that satisfaction of like the profit win. And like, what is price doing? Like, I didn't like how it came up and closed above this. This fair value gap, I didn't like that. And now look, we came up, closed above it, and now when we came back down, these candle bodies are respecting it. So I'm not going to enter short right now. Let's just like watch. If we came up and closed above this swing high, say we closed the candle above this swing high, I would look to try and enter when it came back down and use this this fair value gap as an inversion. The dollar kind of looks like it's making some lower lows here, so that scenario might be in play. Damn, I'm a little upset that we didn't get the profit on that one just because I had such a nice outline on why it was going to work. Had a nice little, you know, this is happening, this is happening. But now we have a drop in dollar. But again, like, I'm not going to try and go long off this fair value gap because I need to see this high taken for me to be fully confident that we're not going down. Because all the reasons that we entered originally on this fair value gap are still in play. But now we have a drop in dollar, and I don't want to go short while the dollar is retracing. I'm interested to see how this 5-minute candle closes because this one respected the consequent encroachment of this wick. So if this actually kind of rolls over a little and also respects consequent encroachment of this wick, I think our downside narrative is even more in play. As you can see, consequent encroachment right here. Okay, so we closed below it. I want to see us close below this blue fair value gap. Okay, there we go. There we go. Nope. There we don't go. I don't like how these bodies are respecting this blue fair value gap now that we've closed above it. And again, going with this morning's discrepancy, you know, if talking about earlier when NASDAQ wasn't making the higher highs, you know, this SMT divergence right here, NASDAQ was just looking a lot more bearish this morning, and ES was looking more bullish. If they were more in sync, I would be a lot more confident, and I wouldn't trail my stop loss to that break even mark. But just because this morning they were kind of acting funky, that makes me a lot more cautious trading, because these are low probability conditions. You can kind of see it right now again. Kind of chopped up. We actually had probably the best price fluctuation of this 2 o'clock hour. This swing high to this swing low, that's probably that is the most fluctuation from a swing high to a swing low in the 2 o'clock hour. We just didn't get filled. Yeah, now look at this. What is this? It closes below the fair value gap, but now wants to run up higher. I'm more and more liking the fact that I'm not in this trade. Because think about it. If I had even moved my stop to this swing high, we'd be like 15 minutes in, and this would be nerve-wracking to be in. This would be very emotionally draining. Dollars dropping more. Still watching the consequent encroachment of this wick though. On the 5 minute. This is the last minute in this 5 minute candle, so it seems like again it might hold down price, which is good for downside. And think of it this way. If we were in a trade right here, it would be so emotionally draining that, for example, like right now, if we break out to the upside, I have the like emotional bandwidth, like the mental capital to try and take a trade to the upside. Whereas if I was still in this chop, it would just be draining. And if we broke to the downside, it'd be like a sigh of relief. But if my stop got hit, I'd probably have to sit that one out. And the whole the more you realize that trading is like a mental game too, like if this did deliver to the downside, I wouldn't be too upset because I know that there's trades I can be in where I'm not going to have to sit through 20 minutes of like it bumping up against my stop loss. So, and like that can be the difference in like, you know, how you feel going into like a trading day tomorrow. So it's like I'm not wasting the mental and emotional capital. So like even like my mindset going into trading tomorrow can be a little more fresh. But that's 3 candles that respect the consequent encroachment of this wick. So I do feel like it, if anything, I do think it wants to sweep some of this liquidity, even if it does want to go higher. If we were still in that trade, we'd still be in that trade right now. We'd have to break. I mean, this swing low came right to 5 handles, so we'd have to break below this swing low. Look how frustrating that is. Gonna take this off just for more clarity. Okay. Drop in dollar. Dollar going lower. I'm just gonna watch. Interesting price action. Makes me not want to do much. If we don't use this as an inversion and we come and close below it, I will not have a read on what price action is doing at all. That's interesting. The past few days, I feel like there hasn't been any like clear cut like setups that were like, oh, this was it. Like, this was it. You could have entered, whoa, like using this as an order block. You would have entered right there. But we're not trading order blocks right now. We're trading the 2 to 3 silver bullet. And we kind of got 5 handles. Okay. See, now that it came above this fair value gap, came down, touched that order block, bodies respected this fair value gap. I'd want to see it like move above this high. The fact that it didn't just move above that high, that's whack. Red flag. I mean, it makes sense. When we saw this morning, ES was printing up close candles on the 5-minute while NASDAQ was printing a down close candle. Like, I think we knew from this morning that it was a low probability day. But here we are. And normally, again, I want to reiterate, normally I'd probably be walking away from the charts. But in this YouTube channel, I want it to show a more realistic view on how traders trade. So I'm like battling, like I want to be here just so you guys to kind of like talk about why I'm not entering a trade. So what I just did, for more reassurance for the people that are still like battling that like need to trade every day, or like when they see price move and they're not part of it, that like guilt or shame they might feel. So that's kind of why I'm coming and being here on days where I normally wouldn't be in front of my chart. I kind of want to come here to highlight the reasons why I'm not taking a trade and why I'm not going to be in front of a chart. Yeah. And I feel like if I can show you more times than not that I'm like coming here, not trading, it'll show. It'll be just like a good example. Let's look at the account. So haven't taken much in terms of trades. These were all instances like what you saw earlier. So we got a nice little $25 out of that break even stop loss. And that's what all these really were. We got that one win right here. But these were all trades where I entered in on and I was like, I don't like this trade anymore, and I just axed the trade. And we kind of got lucky that we just axed in profit. I mean, these numbers are negligible. So yeah, but I thought I haven't shown the account, I feel like, in a while, so it's not like I've been trading and you guys haven't seen. I mean, I think this is the only trade, so I didn't take a trade this morning. And then these were, the majority of these were all trades where I entered and then I didn't like price action the way it was behaving after I entered, so I exited. Similar to what just happened earlier. If you're just joining now, I would go back and watch at right here, 216, we entered a trade. It went, I had the take profit line right here, and it went and touched it, but didn't fill because it didn't go over it, and came back. And when it touched it, and then I saw this candle start to form, I was like, I'm moving the stop to break even. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing we moved to break even, because we would have got stopped out. Technically, so when I originally entered this trade, I was like, I'm going to put my stop up here. So it'll be interesting to see. That'll have to be one for my journal, the original stop, because that's on the 5-minute time frame. I put it up here because it's two up close candles that I was hoping would hold off price to the downside. It's also the top of this 5-minute candle, which forms a 5-minute fair value gap. So if we were in that trade, if we didn't exit that trade and we kept the stop at the original position, we'd be in this trade right now. But look what we'd have to sit through. Like, I don't want to sit through that. That's so emotionally and mentally draining. Especially when I have to like sit here and live stream it, because sometimes what I'll do is, if that was the case, if this was something where I would have like started to go into drawdown, I would have set my stop loss and walked away. So I didn't have to sit here and watch every minute candle print. I would have just walked away. And let's see. Yep, that would have delivered there, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. There we go. That's what I wanted to happen when we entered over here. It's pretty annoying that. Yeah, it's going to run for this. Looks like it wants this sell side. If this was to run up and take this high, I'd really like longs. Could happen. Da-da-da. Gonna take a look at NASDAQ. Waiting. Whole lot of waiting lately. Just been frustrating. It's a little more bittersweet that we technically had the right entry for 5 handles and we didn't. We waited and we still didn't get our monetary gain. Damn, yeah, I'm looking at my journal right now. The past 4 weeks, I've taken 2 trades every week. This past month. I'm excited for when October ends. I'll probably make a little video kind of recapping the month. God damn. I don't want to say I'm getting impatient, but I'm getting bored. So much waiting. But What is it? Isn't it earnings week this week? I wonder if that's why the market's just kind of not doing anything because they want to wait until all the earnings in the aftermarket. Damn. Sorry. I'm just so bored with this price. We could enter, like you could have entered here. It's just so choppy. What is it? I think it's earnings season, right? I need to look at that. Earnings. I've never even looked at earnings. What do you type in? Earnings calendar. Or like Google. Yeah. Earnings week. This price sucks. Damn. Okay, let's go. Let's go. I want to see us take these highs. I want to see us take these highs, and then I will find an entry close to this little breaker structure we got going on here. God damn. Got 315 is the macro sweet spot. Let's see it. Let's see it happen. Oh, God. Let's see it. Let's see it. Come on. Come on. Dropping dollar. Kind of like that as an entry. I like the fact that we had this accumulation right on this higher time frame. Fair value gap. If you're thinking of bullish prices, this is a discount to sell at a premium. See it right here as well. So I would like, and then we had the break-in structure and like an aggressive run up. That wouldn't be a bad entry, but I'm gonna demand that it takes out these highs first. Damn, I can't believe I'm still watching this. Thank God nobody's watching me watch this, because I feel sorry for you guys. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, dropping dollar, dropping dollar. Gotta take out this high. Da 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 da. Oh my God, I'm going. Okay, okay, we are in the 315. In the 315, which is the PM session macro sweet spot. Let's see some movement. Let's see some movement. Bum 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 bum. Gonna take a look at the dollar. Dollar bills, y'all. Interesting. I'm gonna take this off the chart now. I'm gonna take this off the chart. Damn, Alec Baldwin is trending on Twitter. That's crazy. Just read off some interesting business news while we wait. Americans' work from home rates dropped to the lowest rate since the pandemic. It's a fun fact. Let's get another one. There's a bunch of good ones the other day. I'll have to keep scrolling. Oh, you know who it was? Unusual Whales. They've been having some good ones. BMW has signed an agreement with Tesla to adopt their North American charging standard per Sawyer Merritt. Interesting. Bullish on Tesla. They're all going to just end up using Tesla's charging stations. Why would they build out the infrastructure for, like, they don't want to do that. The U.S. unit of cryptocurrency exchange Binance has halted withdrawal of dollars by its clients from the platform, per Reuters. Halted the withdrawal of dollars. Damn. U.S. Treasury 2-year yield is now at 5.199%, the highest since 2006. Florida has overtaken New York to become the second most valuable U.S. housing market, per Zillow. Canada likely sitting on the largest housing bubble of all time, per Philip Colmar. Mortgage payments currently eat up about 59% of household earnings in Canada, per Bloomberg. Okay, so back to price. You can see on the 5-minute we dropped into this fair value gap. I want to see it take these highs, and then I'll do something about it, because I want to see it get animated. One of the reasons why I don't like to trade the PM session too much is because the PM session, I feel like, has a high probability of just going sideways. So that's why I like to try and get my trading out before 3 p.m. But in cases like today where we watch the market and don't get anything, and we end up waiting until 3 p.m. because we want to take a trade, that sucks. Biden to cut off China from more NVIDIA chips. Expand curbs to more countries, per Reuters. This is a fun one. 46% of 401k investors don't know what investments are in their workplace retirement plan, per CNBC. I believe that. I'm actually surprised it's only 46%. Home ownership in the U.S. now costs 35% of the average wage, the highest level since 2007. Damn, I don't know if Unusual Whales always kind of posted news, but they've been posting some good news lately. Oh my God. Okay, 5 minutes. If it doesn't make an intriguing move in 5 minutes, I will be logging off. Mr. Sandman. I thought about entering here. We would have made 5 handles if we did that. Oh, God. I feel like it's going to be one of those things, and I hate the fact that it does this because it's so annoying, because I don't like watching the market all the way to the end. Like the last 10 minutes, it's usually at like 350. It just sprints for liquidity. Might happen. But it's such a gamble to try and play that. Oh my God. Okay. Logging off. I will be on tomorrow morning. And if you watched this, I appreciate you. Enjoy your day.